am hoping. I did ask Gail. I'm going to ask her to
We're getting ready
send
to
out.
go. And we're on. I'm never really caught off guard. Let me just say that from the beginning. I'm never really caught off guard because my dear producer in the air, Harry, knows when I'm on because he's got a new toy right there where he can see everything. That's number one. And number two, we're texting each other before the show goes on. So when he presses the button, I can see everything in front of me, but I'm still not really ready. So it's a habit. I used to be better at it when my radio job was a little bit more serious, but this is always fun. You're listening to the show on WNHH 103.5 FM, NewHavenIndependent.org. And my name is Michelle Turner, and I have the pleasure of being the host of the show. Today, we're going to have a wonderful conversation with my girlfriend. Actually, she is the chapter president of the New Haven Girlfriends Incorporated, one of the oldest Black civic organizations for women in the United States. I was fortunate enough to be called in as a member, and I accepted the call. And I absolutely love and adore my girlfriends, and we just enjoy each other and have a fabulous time. So I'd like to welcome the president of the New Haven Girlfriends Chapter, Inc., Leslie, I want to get it right, Douglas Churchwell.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing great.
Good.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And Leslie may sound a little different in the respect that she is from Nashville. She's a native of Nashville.
Actually, I'm really from Louisiana.
You know what? And I started to say that, and then I said no. She just told me about her years in Nashville.
But we moved to Connecticut after living in Nashville for 20 years.
Wow.
And my husband was born and raised in Nashville.
Wow. So what part of Louisiana?
I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Ah, Baton Rouge.
Yes.
And Southern University?
My mother was a professor at Southern University. I went to Spelman. So,
okay.
But
and I was expected. I was expected, and I was accepted to Spelman.
Fantastic.
My sister actually went for a few years before she transferred home.
Wonderful.
So we have a slight legacy in that. Well, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me.
And how long have you been in New Haven now?
We've been here for 4 years.
Like it?
We do. I mean, it's totally different in Nashville. It is a lot of fun. The people are extremely friendly. We are close to other cities like New York or Boston. In the summers, New Haven is just the best because you have the beaches and the weather is fun. The seafood is great. So concerts on the green.
Yeah.
It is perfect. Thank you.
Good. I'm glad you like it because so many people come and they're like, oh, well, you guys are Northerners. You're not friendly, or, you're just kind of New England cold. And it is a little bit of that. But I think for the most part, we're very welcoming.
I feel that you are welcoming. I did when I initially moved here. I had to teach my neighbors to wave. But my neighbors were always kind. When we moved in, they came to visit us. They brought us food items and plants and things of that sort. So even though they weren't the waving type, they were very, very warm and welcoming. And now they get their hand up before I can even get mine up to wave. So it's perfect.
So you've taught them something.
Yes, I have.
A little cultural exchange.
Definitely.
We are about to embark on a fabulous party.
We are. The girlfriend's party.
A girlfriend's cocktail party. But before we do that, let's talk about who the girlfriends are.
Well, the girlfriends is, I believe it was the first national African American women's club. It was founded in New York City in 1927. There were about 6 ladies who met for a bowl of stew, and it has progressed to chapters all over the United States, East Coast, West Coast, South, and North.
Mm-hmm.
The New Haven chapter was chartered in 1932. We were the 6th chapter of the Girlfriends, and it is just a wonderful group of legacy. One thing I do love about the Girlfriends is that they keep it moving in terms of the fact that it's very common to have daughters join the Girlfriends, and you have some families that have 4 generations of ladies who are girlfriends who are in the club, and it's very, very special.
Well,
and that's very, very rare to see.
Yeah, I think that's what makes it special. You know, the fact that you kind of hand down this legacy, and it's nice because, you know, you get to know people in a family traditional way. You know, you get to know about people's, you know, moms and cousins and lineage and who's from where. And, you know, you really do get to meet people and know them from their roots, so to speak.
That is true. And the nice thing about it is that there are people who went to Spelman with me who I see at Conclave every year. I'm actually from Louisiana. I've lived in Atlanta. I went to medical school in Pittsburgh. So when I go to Conclave, I meet people from every city that I've ever lived in. I see people from other groups that I am in here. So it's really a lot of fun. It's like old home week when the girlfriends get together.
Sort of like homecoming, right?
Yeah, it's definitely like homecoming.
So New Haven is one of the oldest chapters in the country and had the first conclave or national meeting here at the Hotel Taft.
Yes, at the Hotel Taft. And I think that was the first time that the girlfriends were able to go into a white establishment to stay there, to spend the night there, because, you know, previously, especially in the South where I'm from, the hotels up until the Civil Rights Act of 1964, we were not allowed in hotels. Like, several of our performers were able to perform at the hotel, but they couldn't use the restroom and they couldn't use the pool.
Right.
They couldn't stay.
Right. Which is, you know, another reason why organizations like the Girlfriends are formed.
Yes, that is definitely true.
That's why that we have the history that we do, because there were, of course, women's organizations, but we were not allowed to join those organizations. So in thinking about history and looking at who we are, that's part of it. That's the root.
And that is true, because there were African Americans who fought in the American Revolution, but we were never, especially at those times in the 1920s when we came of age, we were not able to join the Daughters of the American Revolution, even though some of us were daughters of the American Revolution.
Right, right. And everybody knows the Marian Anderson concert, same type of thing. You know, here was someone who was accomplished, and yet they did not want her to perform in their hall.
Correct.
So when you think in terms of those moments, you see the reason why organizations like the sororities and Girlfriends, the social clubs, were formed.
Definitely.
So talk a little bit about Conclave, because the organization just had one, and it was national.
Yes.
And, you know, the theme is eat, drink, and be merry.
That is true. Well, Conclave is like a little mini weekend. Some ladies arrive on Wednesday night, others arrive on Thursday. There are so many activities. There are two luncheons. One of the things that the Girlfriends do is we have the Girlfriends Fun, and there's a Girlfriend Fun luncheon, and they have jewelry and music. Actually, Nate Adderley, a jazz musician, his father was also a jazz musician.
And Nat went to Yale.
Correct. I was about to say that. He is a Yale graduate. So he performed at
that was nice.
At the luncheon to start off with the business meeting former United States Representative Charles Rangel spoke to us and gave a rousing
I'm sure he
response,
did.
and it was great seeing him. But the business meetings went very, very shortly because we were supposed to have two, but we really only had one, and then we got together and partied. And when girlfriends get together, we really party hard.
We really party.
We have various activities. We had a theme party, which was a Harlem Nights party.
Mm-hmm.
And you were dressed in either red, black, or white. I wore red. I have friends who wore.
Now, did you do the flapper dress or?
I did not, but my dress was reminiscent of it.
Okay.
So, even though it was not a flapper dress, but there were ladies who were dressed in flapper dresses. It was trying for us to appear like the original girlfriends from 1927.
Okay.
Because the chapter that held this event was the original chapter. The New York chapter were the ones who held the event. Then Friday, the fun event was a sneaker parade. People wore all these.
Now, was that at Central Park?
Correct. So that was the theme of that was Central Park, and it was the sneaker parade, and people wore various sneakers. I had on these little Gucci sneakers with rhinestones on them. The sneaker that won, there was this one lady who had these high top sneakers that had a wedge with them and rhinestones and stones and gold studs throughout, and she was the one who won.
Wow.
Rightly so, and it was fun, just to hang out, and sometimes you want to dress up and then sometimes you don't want to dress up.
Right.
For the men, they have activities. My husband went golfing, which he loves. He thoroughly enjoyed the course. Unfortunately, he had to do the Heart Walk back in New Haven, so he had to go from New York to New Haven on Saturday morning to do the Heart Walk. But there was a historical tour of Harlem, and he felt that if he did not have to do the Heart Walk, that he would have enjoyed it. So.
Yeah. Did you get to do it?
Well, no, because I was the delegate.
I was getting ready to say, or were you conducting business?
I was conducting business, but it was still fun business.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was definitely fun. Then we ended with the dinner dance, which was very, very lovely, and the theme of that was Broadway. And so all the tables decorated with the playbills from Broadway shows, and the music was just fantastic. Lots of dancing and lots of fun.
Sounds
then
like a good
we end
time.
on Sunday with just a goodbye breakfast to hug and kiss and to say goodbye, and that's how it is.
See you next year,
see you
girlfriend.
next year, definitely.
And with it said that you were a delegate, talk a little bit about the foundation.
So the Girlfriends Fund Foundation raises money for scholarships. It was started in 1989.
Yeah.
It's been 30 years. And they give scholarships which are 4-year scholarships. Currently, it's $1,500 a year. Several Yale graduates have received the scholarship. I know there are at least 2 Yale students there. But yet they come from every single chapter throughout the nation, and there's a process that you have to apply. And this year, because it's the 30th year of the Girlfriends Fund Scholarship Awards, they actually gave out even more awards. So there were people who got the full 4-year scholarship, and then there are people, all of the applicants receive money. So
nice.
So that was very nice.
And with the foundation, is it a charitable arm?
It is a charitable arm, but it's its own separate entity.
Right.
But it is a charitable arm. But even the girlfriends, separate from the foundation, every year, the girlfriends give money, and we actually vote on who is going to get the money.
Yeah.
The last 2 years, the money has gone to the Flint water crisis, and one of the gentlemen from Flint came to receive his check and to speak with us. We also had a very rousing fashion show where the girlfriends were the models. I am too short, so I am not going to model.
Oh, come
I
on.
am too short, so I would never model.
Oh,
But actually, I did model in Nashville only because
see?
one of my friends was in charge of this fashion show. So
Okay,
every
so
year,
she made you.
so every year
You
because
were
she was my
voluntold.
friend. So, but I mean, I'm only 5 feet tall, so I'm just not model material. But anyway, but it was the MC was Kim Coles from
Ah,
Living
living single.
correct,
Yeah, cool.
correct, from Living Single. So it was really, really great having her. And she's been at another national club that I'm a member of.
Mm-hmm.
She actually was an MC for another event, and she is just fabulous and so much fun.
Yeah,
and
full
down
of
to
life,
earth.
lots of
Yes.
personality, all of that, which makes it even more fun.
Yes, very much so.
And speaking of fun,
Yes,
Friday, the 31st,
correct.
the New Haven chapter of Girlfriends is celebrating the music of our queen and our prince,
Yes.
Aretha Franklin and Prince Rogers Nelson. And it's from 7 to 11. And you can contact any girlfriend or go on Eventbrite and get your tickets. So, what's the purpose of this evening? Because technically, and I hope I'm not out of line in saying this, girlfriends don't fundraise, right? Technically.
Technically, we do not fundraise. It's really just a way for us to get together and to have fun. So we are one of the things we are raising money. We actually have two types of fundraisers. We have fundraisers where we give money toward scholarships,
Mm-hmm.
and like our Kentucky Derby party last year was that type of fundraiser. We have been blessed by having a 501c3.
Mm-hmm.
So all of the money that we raise through the 501c3, less our expenses, has to go to charity, and rightly so.
Mm-hmm.
This fundraiser is because we are having Conclave in 2026. So just
That means,
as
folks, that all the girlfriends from around the country
correct, and
are
it's about
coming here to Connecticut.
yes, and it's about 1,000 people. There were 1,000 people. There were 977 people
Wow.
in New York.
Wow.
And I suspect that we would have the same amount of people.
Mhm.
So this fundraiser is tonight to help us to raise money because we want to show our girlfriends an excellent time, a fun time, the way that we were received. And, you know, at girlfriends, at a lot of the events, there are little gifts you get for every single event that you
Right.
attend. And so we have to be prepared. So we've been saving money on our own. But then we also will every now and then have a fundraiser to help supplement. And this fundraiser is going to be fabulous. We
It
are
is.
looking so forward to it. It's on May 31st, 7 p.m. at the Racebrook Country Club. It is a tribute to the music and lives of Aretha Franklin, the Queen of Soul,
Mm-hmm.
the Pink Cadillac,
Mm-hmm.
who wants respect, because you know girlfriends demand respect,
Yes, we do.
and Prince, the Purple Rain, the Purple Master. So we are looking
Going
forward
crazy.
to it. It's going to be so much fun, a cocktail attire. So please definitely join us and wear your cocktail dresses. I'm wearing pink for the Pink Cadillac.
Uh-huh.
Some people are wearing purple, and so
Mhm.
whatever you'd like to wear, but just definitely join us. It's going to be a fabulous time. We actually have a band that's coming in from New York,
Mm-hmm.
a fabulous band called Sage,
Yes.
and I hear they are just marvelous, and they can put on a show and rock the house down. So that's what we plan. Lots of dancing, partying, just having a great
A
time.
great time.
Is what we're looking forward to.
Absolutely. And you are listening to the show on 103.5 FM, WNHHLP, broadcasting live from downtown New Haven. We're streaming on TuneIn Radio and newhavenindependent.org. We're also streaming live video on Facebook Live. All you have to do is go to facebook.com/New Haven Independent, or just go to your own Facebook page and look us up. In the studio, is the president of the New Haven chapter of Girlfriends, Leslie Douglas Churchwell. And it is a pleasure to have her here. And we're talking about the organization itself, as well as an upcoming event next Friday, the 31st, as you just heard. So you're wearing pink.
I'm wearing pink.
I haven't decided. Still trying to figure out.
Excuse me.
But it's nice to have the opportunity to do something fun and get dressed up.
Yes.
You know, so many times we're running around, we're working, we're, supporting an event, we're, working on a cause, we're doing this, we're doing that. And we don't take the time to really enjoy ourselves or enjoy each other.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is a real opportunity for people to do that.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Plus, the event that was going to be at the Schubert honoring Prince
Really?
is not taking place.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it seems that the performer is sick.
Oh, no.
So with that, for
With
all the
that-
folks who were gonna go this Friday, you can
Yes.
come next Friday.
Definitely. We would love to have
We
you.
would love to have you. It's very important that you come out and really support this, because we are trying to not only support our girlfriends when they arrive in Connecticut, but we also want to be able to send African American boys and girls and children, period. Because while the focus for most African American organizations over hundreds of years has been children of color, I think we've opened the doors now. And if students are qualified,
Mm-hmm. If they apply.
if they apply and they're qualified, they get to partake in scholarship money. So really it's about the community, and it's about children, and it's about helping folks move to that next level.
Definitely. Definitely.
I think that's the important thing that we have to remember in all of this. So, Leslie, if you could tell people in, say, 2 sentences who the girlfriends are, what would you choose to say? How would you say it?
The Girlfriends are the premier African American women's club. We are beautiful, smart, gracious, kind, and we are just very, very special ladies.
Indeed, we are. And we have a lot of fun. It's an opportunity for us to get together and talk about our families,
Mm-hmm.
our accomplishments, sort of a brag book, if you will, but not really.
Yeah. The chatterbox, and
The
the chatter letter.
chatterbox. And also just the opportunity to get together and
That's
enjoy
true.
folks that you may not see every day.
Correct. And the nice thing about that, just you're right. I do see people from all over the country.
Mm-hmm.
I see people from Spelman, from various cities I've lived. And it's also nice. So after the convention, you have the book, and then you can go through and read, oh, yeah, I remember her. I saw her. I know what her daughter's doing and
Mhm.
things of that sort. So it's always really, really fun to go through the book and see what people are doing. So,
Yeah, it's interesting, and it's nice to know that there are other chapters around the country. So if one decides that they want to move,
yes,
then they already have a welcoming party, if you will.
that is true. And that's what helped me to become acclimated to New Haven.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the Nashville chapter, and shortly after I moved here, about a month, I contacted the New Haven Girlfriends. Went to my first meeting in February,
Mhm.
and 4 years later, I am the president.
Now here you are, right? I think the best thing is, though, that we treat each other well.
We really do. We are very, very warm and kind.
Mm-hmm.
If there's any tragedy in the family, we all bind together. If there are joyous occasions such as births or weddings, we all bind together and just work out to make everything work. And one of the things I do like about our chapter is that we give to other organizations. We
Mhm.
get requests for various ads and donations to other, and we do have a certain amount that that is in our bylaws for we to
Mhm.
give, and sometimes the ads are more than that. And girlfriends, oh well, don't worry, I got it, and
Right.
and they come
Right.
out of their pocket to make certain that we get the type of ad or we make the donation that we want. One of our girlfriends is very active in a group called Sister Cities,
Mhm.
and we are sister cities with Sierra Leone,
Mhm.
and we have been helping the Ebola orphanages. And at one of our meetings in September, one of our members mentioned about the need. We raised $400
Mhm.
in just that visit.
Yeah.
Just that meeting. $400 was raised. So even though we do have fun, we are very, very civic minded.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the other important things about being in this organization. Whereas other people are sort of tasked to do public service, we kind of give from our hearts.
Yes.
Yes, we've done things with the Flint water crisis, and there's been other human trafficking, there's been other
Correct.
issues that we've tackled, but we also try to really be involved in the New Haven community.
We definitely do. And we are so fortunate that our own mayor, Tony Harp,
Mhm.
the Honorable Tony Harp, is a member of our chapter, a member of the Girlfriends.
Mm-hmm.
And we are just honored to have her. She just brings so much warmth and wisdom.
And perspective
Definitely.
Perspective
Definitely.
to some of the things that we try to do as an organization.
Correct. Because in terms of the human king,
Mm-hmm.
that was her idea.
Mm-hmm.
And just we went with it. And we were very, very successful with it. So
And I think for the most part, we're moved because we don't think in terms of that happening in the United States, in Connecticut, in New Haven. We look at that sometimes, sex crimes particularly, not happening in our own backyard.
unfortunately, they happen all over.
Yep.
I mean, your child could go to the mall and not come home.
Right. Right.
So your child could be in a group traveling, like in another city for a school event,
Right.
and be plucked off. So
And it just happened. That lady was walking down the street with her daughter
recently,
a couple of days ago.
yes,
And
in
somebody
Houston.
snatched her daughter
Yes.
right out of her hand.
In Fort Worth, yes.
Right. Right. So it's real. And I think when we're about having a good time. There's no question about it. But I think when we look at the different issues in the
Mhm.
community, I think not only are we on top of those issues, but we attempt to do something about it.
That is true. Another very important girlfriend who's in our chapter is Congresswoman Johanna Haynes.
Yes.
She is a member of our chapter. We are definitely happy to have her. She's been very busy.
Yes.
And that's okay. That's all right.
She's had a lot of work to do.
Definitely.
She's had a lot of work to do, but I think we're all excited that she's a girlfriend.
Definitely. And her work in Washington, even though we are important, but her work in Washington is really the most important thing
Quite
that
significant.
she's dealing with
Yeah.
at this current time.
Yeah. So don't forget to come and join the New Haven chapter of Girlfriends Incorporated for an evening of cocktails, dinner, dancing, and electrifying music performed by Sweet Wine. Now, Sweet Wine is an all-female ensemble. It features an all-female ensemble, I should say, Sage of Lewis and Kirk Expeditions, with a tribute to our Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, and, of course, our Prince. Now, again, that's Friday, May 31st, 2019, 7 to 11 p.m., the Racebrook Country Club, 246 Derby Avenue, Orange. Tickets are $85. Now, I know that some people will say, $85? What am I going to get for $85? An exquisite time.
And a delicious meal.
Yes. And good music and a signature drink. If you've never been to a girlfriend's celebration, I don't want to call it just a party, but celebration, we always have a signature drink.
That is true. That is true.
And we always try to make you feel at home, regardless of where it is. We want to give you that, come on in, sit down, take your shoes off, have a good time feeling. And I think when you get that signature drink in your hand, it's like, oh, this is different. And it sets the tone.
Definitely, definitely. And one of the things that, as being a Southerner, but also it is a girlfriend thing. So in whatever chapter that you go to, the girlfriends always treat their guests better than they treat themselves. And so that's the most important thing, to make sure that our guests are happy.
Yeah.
And our guests are having fun.
Yeah.
That's the most
important thing.
Yes. Because when our guests are happy and enjoying themselves, then it makes us happy.
It makes us happy, and it makes us shine.
Yes,
right?
definitely, definitely.
It makes us shine.
So in terms of, I guess because the ticket sales are through Eventbrite, can they contact you or someone at your station in order to get the information?
They
if
can
they
contact
don't
me.
Know a girlfriend?
They can contact me. They can contact a girlfriend. And if you look on Facebook, you'll see who the different girlfriends are in the New Haven chapter. You might know some.
That is true.
You know, get in touch with folks. We know that we've got a long weekend coming up. So it'll give you enough time to, you know, get some breathing room and choose your dress for the evening, be it pink or purple. And yes, gentlemen, of course you're invited.
Of course. I know that my husband is excited about coming. So.
Yay! Because so many times when you start to talk about women's organizations and, you know, women giving events, a lot of men feel like, okay, that may not be for me. When in fact, we'd love for you to come because there are women who need someone to dance with. They may not have an escort.
That's true.
So come on out. We need you to party a little bit with us.
And just think the music is going to be fabulous.
It's going to be fabulous. It's going to be Aretha Franklin. What a legacy we have in her. And it gave me Aretha Franklin.
Yes, and it's amazing that she had music from the 60s to the 2000s.
Yep.
So that's amazing.
And the thing I think for me, well, I've always loved Aretha Franklin ever since I was a little girl. I think the thing for me, just Siri's deciding to tap in.
Yes, Siri is something else.
She's decided to tap in. She gave me some Aretha Franklin information. But I think for me, I've enjoyed Aretha Franklin's music because it covered not only so many years, but just different types of music.
Definitely.
You know, gospel. R&B, rhythm and blues, ballads. You know, sometimes there were a couple of songs way back that were easy listening. You know, and if you go back now, you can actually hear the purity of her voice. And of course, Prince. You know, it was always something different with him, but he also left a legacy and a body of music that I think over time people have appreciated.
Oh yes, I mean, I remember going to both of their concerts. I was fortunate to see Aretha sing. Not only did I see her sing, I saw her play the piano, and I didn't realize until that concert that she was an excellent piano player.
Yeah.
And was just so talented. And it's amazing that her voice, when Luciano Pavarotti could not sing, Aretha sang for him.
She stepped in.
Nessun Dorma, which is a beautiful aria from Turandot.
But it's also a very difficult aria
Yes.
to sing. It is
Yes.
not easy.
No, it's
And
not.
for her to step in like she did, I guess 10 minutes before the performance
Mm-hmm.
and sing
Mhm.
that and warm up and be ready to sing
Yes.
it
Yes.
is amazing.
That is true. And Prince just has such style and he's electrifying. He spun off so many other performers,
Mhm.
such as Sheila E., Vanity.
Janelle Monáe.
Yes. And I love Janelle Monáe. I mean, so.
Well, it's so funny because we missed Esmeralda, the bass player.
Yes.
We missed it
Oh.
when he was at Mohegan Sun. She opened for him. Then it was Janelle Monáe.
Uh-huh.
And then what we didn't realize was that during the breakdown of their stages, he had Dougie Fresh play.
Mhm.
And nobody knew that Dougie Fresh was coming.
Mhm.
So it was like this huge party in the arena.
Yes.
And by the time he got on, everybody was like,
You're tired because you party so hard. Party so hard.
partied so hard. And he knew that. You know, he was
Right.
someone who appreciated other genres of music.
That is
You know,
true.
you have
That
some
is
musicians who say, oh, well, that's not music, or, oh, I wouldn't play that.
true. Mhm.
But not only was he a guitarist, he was a drummer, he was a piano player, and he was a songwriter.
Mhm.
And it is said that any instrument you gave to him, he would eventually learn to play and master that instrument.
Very
So
talented.
that says it all. In addition, I think the thing with me for Prince was that he was so different in the beginning. We had never
Mhm.
seen anything like him.
That is true.
And then he became the norm.
Yes.
He
yes.
became the norm as time went on.
So it's so funny at Spelman. One of my she actually was ahead of me at Spelman, and she went to high school with Prince.
Wow.
And she said that they just thought he was weird, and they used to tease him. And she was like, and we were in college. She was like, I guess we were wrong. We should have treated him better.
Probably so, yeah. Because I've heard that story too, that other people were saying that, you know, here's this kid, he was weird, he wasn't that tall, you know, he had this big afro. Okay, he could play basketball a little bit, but basically, you know, nobody really wanted to get to know him.
But you know what the special thing about Prince is that he teaches, well, I'm sorry, because he's passed. He actually taught everyone to be themselves,
Yes.
to respect their own individuality, and not only that, to be conscious of other people's differences.
Yeah, and respect the
allow-
differences.
And allow other people to be different. And that's
Mhm.
so important. I mean, we need to be an inclusive society, and that's what Prince was.
Yeah.
I mean, his music was liked by everyone. I mean, all ages of people, for both Aretha and Prince, loved their music.
I remember the day that he passed and just being in the car because I had errands to run that day, was working out of town. And so when I was coming in, it was like people had their windows down and they were playing all
Mhm.
kinds of Prince
Yes,
music.
Yes.
And it was interesting to see the different people
Mm-hmm.
who were playing the music on their radio.
Yes.
It was really something. So he has left us a legacy.
So, ladies and gentlemen, since the Prince at the Schubert is not going to happen this weekend, definitely please join us. We would love
would
to have
love
you. I
to
think it's
have
going to
you
be
next
so
week.
much fun.
We would love to have you. See any girlfriend for tickets, okay? Because we are going to party like it's 1999 with a lot of respect,
Yeah.
a lot of natural born women, and we are going to be sending you off with love and respect.
Definitely. Definitely.
Leslie Churchwell, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank
I
you.
know that you're on the run all the
I'm
time.
always running.
So
but
it's
that's
really
okay.
nice to have you seated in the studio with us today. It's very special. I appreciate you so much coming in. Thank you.
Well, girlfriend Michelle, you are just one of the premier radio personalities
Aw.
in New Haven. I am honored to be your
Oh,
friend.
that's very nice of you.
And thank you so much for having us here.
That's what's called being girl friendly.
Definitely. Definitely.
You've been listening to the show on 103.5 FM, WNHH, NewHavenIndependent.org. We are streaming on Facebook Live, okay? So you can always go back and listen tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. and then at 6 p.m. Thursday, okay? And don't worry about missing it because it's always on SoundCloud. Harry makes sure of that so he never forgets it. You're listening to the show on WNHHLP 103.5 FM, broadcasting live from downtown New Haven. We are streaming live on TuneIn Radio and NewHavenIndependent.org. We're also streaming live video on Facebook Live. Just go to facebook.com/New Haven Independent, or just go to your own Facebook page and look us up. It's been a ball. You never know who's going to be on the show. Thank you, Harry.
Oh, this was fun. That was
Good. I'm glad you liked
This
it.
was fun. Good.
Yeah. I mean, people always think like, oh my gosh, it's going to be tough. It's like, no, you're not
Oh,
a
this was
politician.
It's still, I didn't, you know what? This thing didn't really die.
It did it?
Well, it
Oh.
came out. It came out.
Okay.
That's okay. We're cool. I'm about to go and have a charge in my car.
You can
so
charge
we're
it in your car.
good. That was good. Well, thank you for having me. This
You're
was a lot of fun.
welcome. You're welcome back anytime.
So my job tonight is Friday. I need to.
Have you packed?
I haven't even unpacked. We came in for New York tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got off the actually I drove in and then I asked my
Yes, get your Twizzlers.
I'm gonna take one for myself. I'm gonna take two
Yeah.
and I'm done. So I actually had just gotten in from New York.
Mm.
So I got in New York and then I went to the beach.
Girl, that is so much. It's so much. I hope you get a chance.